Hi Max, you are here with your cooking uncle today because today we're going to be making one of my all-time favourites, one favourite in the family, lentil soup. Now if you don't know what lentil is, look right there, you can see it with the comparison size of my finger. Imagine if corn grew off of the cob and ran into the ground and grew on a leaf. And we're also going to be adding Arvejas Partidas Verdi. This is what it looks like when it's fully cooked. I did this because of time constraints. Today we're going to be concocting all this stuff together into the same thing, and we have everything that we need to do that right here and there and over here. So we're going to move the dried stuff over there next to the empty pie tin. You're going to need a cooking base, canola oil. It's one of the most basic types of canola oils. Price is first. Remember, price is always first. The canola plant is much like a tree, grows 100 feet tall at least, but unlike a tree, is made entirely of leaves. Next we have mashed potatoes. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Sauce. And here we have raw ingredients. This is an onion. In Spanish, it translates to being an onion. Here, inside of this bag, we have what is known as caul. And this one is quite particular in that it looks like tiny trees. The street term for this vegetable is broccoli. As you can see here, we have mushrooms, already cut. We're thinking efficiently. Sausages. And baby carrots. They taste better when they're babies. We have a simple vegetable cooking stock. And our last ingredients are these. Kernel corn. Yams. Also known as sweet potatoes. Remember that. Very important. Sweet potatoes. And green beans. French style. I chose French style because when you're cooking with them, they give up sooner. Now, one of the first things to remember before you ever start cooking is that if you're using utensils, you must always be cautious not to injure yourself or anyone around you. Always wash your hands with hot soap and water. And never cook the dog. Cooking onions is easy, but first you must remove the protective outer layer. This outer layer is put on by manufacturers of onions in order to keep them safe during cold weather. Remove the ends gently, as they are the most fragile parts. Process the rest of the onion, which can take some time and a little bit of strategy, especially if you only have one hand available to you. And here we are, barely 45 minutes later, with an onion fully processed and ready for cooking. And here, Max, we have mushrooms. Mushrooms grow on the ground. They also grow in your feet. Remember, these mushrooms came pre-chopped, processed already. No need to use sharp objects. But remember, they must still be washed. Perfect. Now we're moving on to one of these. And then the carrots. Remember, it's important to stay nutrited and hydrated while cooking. Let's get another one of these. These are good. This stuff. Carrots are the next ingredient. Carrots are also known as pumpkin fingers. And remember, it's always important to use precise measurements. What we have here is exactly one giant's hand full of carrots. I will be putting them in a separate container, which I did not pull from the trash. Consider this. Carrots are hard. Very hard. Whereas mushrooms are soft. They break apart easily in your hand. And so, in order to properly prepare the hard carrots with the soft other things, you must boil them separately. However, in order to avoid further bodily harm to myself, and because this would be considered video evidence that would disqualify me from healthcare, we won't be doing that here today. We must wash the caul. After washed and fully processed, this is what your kale should look like. The stems are also edible, maybe. Broccoli is not much unlike kale, and they have similar combustion rates. However, did you know that there are some creatures who find broccoli irresistible? I have cut the broccoli bush in half. One half here, the other there. Today we will be using only one half of the broccoli bush. This is called half brining because of the structure of the broccoli leaves mimic the similar structure in the brine. Perhaps this is what you see when you think of broccoli. The broccoli has three basic parts: the foot, the head, and the knee. Every knee has a head, and every head has a foot, but not every foot has a knee. With our dishes properly washed and with the countertop wiped down, we are now ready with all our ingredients to begin the hard cooking. In order to begin the cooking, we must first activate the oven. We must turn the knob to alight the fire beneath. That is a healthy blue flame. We'll turn it to 3 and keep it at a nice simmer. We will allow the pan itself, without any ingredients on it, to heat up momentarily, but do not wait too long as it will get hot. Do not touch hot objects. Insert the canola oil, enough to cover the base of your cooking chamber. Stir gently to cover all sides. The first ingredient we will add are the mushrooms and the onions. Cooking onions and mushrooms together in hot oil is also known as a sauté. We will insert it gently into the cooking cauldron. That hissing sound you hear is the onion complaining that it is on fire. In order to properly mix the ingredients inside of the burning oil, you will need one of these. At this point in time in cooking, we have reached what is known as a critical impasse. If we add the sauce to the sauté, it will taste saltier and it will have a more defined flavour in the back of the throat. However, if we add the yams, it will be a sweeter flavour and it will pleasure the top palate of the mouth. Due to time constraints, we will add both. In order to open tin or aluminum cans, you will need a tin or aluminum can opener. This is a handy device which is literally operated by the hands. Open already. A typical sauté will take anywhere between 4 to 3 minutes. During this process, your yams or sweet potatoes may disseminate and become liquefied. This is normal. You will know that the sauté is done when the onions are translucent and your mushrooms are gooey. I would like to take all day in order to simmer and sauté this pot, but we do not have time due to time constraints. We will have to turn up the heat. You will know when your sauté is done, when taking a big smell of it leaves a burning sensation in the back of your nostrils. Next to add the coup de grace, otherwise known as the lentils and the peas. Remember to add them gently. Perfect. Remember, nearly any food can be cooked by you at home. That's correct. You, who's sitting on your couch, or in your bedroom, or on the phone in the car, can prepare these delicious types of meals. But for anything more complicated, it is recommended that you get professional help. If your ingredient list includes octopus, whale, bananas, or plantains, low-bearing shrubs, rubber, or any inorganic materials related to sedimentium, please contact your local certified health engineer of food or chef for help. Looks like we need to turn up the heat. Here we have what is commonly referred to as cooking stock, otherwise known as cooking broth. It is made from the departed souls of vegetables long past. Pour enough in to cover just the surface of your concoction. We will need to allow it to cook for a momentary amount of time. Place the lid on carefully. Due to time constraints and to poor budgeting of time, we have run out of time. Thank you for watching today. I've enjoyed teaching you how to make lentil soup.